Hello and welcome back to a new video. We're working on the Golf again. I've now got the part that I'm waiting for to be able to take the flywheel off. In the last video that's where we stopped. We got the gearbox off but I couldn't really take anything else off. Now I'm going to strip the clutch down and hopefully be able to take the side of the engine off to see the timing. I've never done this before. I've taken the clutch and the flywheel off but I've never gone further than that, so I'm just going to see how it goes, and yeah, hopefully it works out. So this is my clutch. This is a single mass clutch, and because I've got the 5-speed O2J gearbox, you can get away with running the clutch from the Mark III VR5, the 12 valve, and then it's a single mass flywheel, and it's supposed to spin up faster when you accelerate. But it doesn't make a massive difference. It's just really clunky when you do your gears, but I like that. I don't know why, but I like that feeling. I do not think this is how the professionals do it, but this is how I'm going to do it. Clutch is now off. Obviously you can see I've burnt it out a fair bit, but that's just how I drive this car. It's my toy, so I'm going to drive it like a toy, and then I don't mind fixing it. But what I got to do now is take this off, and then after that point I have no idea what I'm doing. So the flywheel's off. This is the most I've ever taken a car apart before. We need to take this plate off. By the looks of it, all of these coolant bits up here need to come off. And there's also a leak by the looks of it, so it'll be good to get those off and see what's going on. So yeah, I'm just going to strip all this down. And yeah. I think I'm lying actually, because if you follow the bolts, it goes around like this. And it doesn't actually go over there, so I think that's actually part of the block. So I'll just undo these bolts all along here and see what happens. I keep saying see what happens a lot because I don't actually know what I'm doing. I've grabbed this bit of carpet, so if any oil leaks out where it's not fully drained, it should land on this and avoid the driveway. But what I'm going to do, like I said before, I don't know why I'm repeating myself, but is unscrew that and see if we can get the covers off. It definitely looks like my head gasket is gone. I just don't think I have the knowledge to do a head gasket. I'm not really sure on that. Might have to watch some YouTube videos and see how complicated it is, because I don't know as well, because you're supposed to get like the head skimmed and stuff like that. I don't know if you could just put a new gasket in, because I can imagine when you take it to a car garage, they don't go skimming the head, they probably just change the gaskets for you. But I'll see how hard it is, and I'll probably end up doing it and fucking the engine, but it's what it is. Easy. Well, nothing looks broken there. It actually looks quite good. We'll just pop the cover back on so that it's not exposed until we've taken the top end off. So there wasn't anything obvious in the bottom end of the engine, apart from the oil and the coolant have mixed, so I'm going to have to do the head gasket. Yeah, I don't know what this knocking noise is so far, so I'm going to take the top end off. It could be a valve, could be a bent rod. Once I've taken the top end off, if I don't find it in the timing, I'm a bit out of my depth, but we just keep searching and see what we find. I've just had the bright idea that I should turn the engine over with my hands and see if I can feel anything or hear anything. I didn't even think of that, because there's no spark plugs in it, so there'll be no, well, there are spark plugs, but I can take the spark plugs out so there's no compression. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my spanner and put it on there and turn the engine over, and I don't actually know which way it's going to go, but I got a feeling it's clockwise, so don't copy that advice. And we need to change this belt because it's all perished. What's really annoying is it's turning over, like it's cranking around with not massive amounts of resistance, and you'd have thought if it's a valve I wouldn't have been able to push it because it'd be hitting the valve, so I am massively confused. If it was like a bent rod it wouldn't turn over at all, so I'm still going to take that timing chain off. We'll change the timing, and we might find something if we do the head gasket. I'm just going to pop my spark plugs back in so that it's still a sealed engine as such. Well, the cylinders will be. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to order a camera that I can push down the spark plugs and have a look at the valves and the head, see if there's anything in there. So once I've taken that off, there's not very much I can see. Something metal is broken off because it looks like I've got piston rings. I reckon I've done the piston rings. Oh, that's so upsetting, look. It definitely looks like piston rings. Oh, that's actually heartbreaking. That's a complete strip down, that's really upsetting. Fuck. But yeah, I'm a bit disheartened now. I was hoping it was a timing chain and that these engines were indestructible. But this is me, I'm good at breaking shit. Right, I'm going to put this all back on, so at least it's covered up and stuff, and then I'm going to chill for a bit because, no, I'm not happy. It's the next day. We were back working on the car after a very depressing finish. I found like bits of metal in the top end of the engine and it looks like a piston ring. So what I'm going to do now, it's raining but I'm just going to crack on with it, is I'm going to try and get the sump off. So I'm going to put the engine brace off, take the sump off, and although I can't keep the sump off because it's in the car and like it's all resting on the sump, what I'm going to do is see if there's anything obvious in there. I'm hoping I might find more piston ring or something, and it's just going to let me know if the engine's worth fixing or not. Regardless, I think I want to fix it anyway because it's a learning curve and I want to do this sort of stuff and I don't mind. I'd rather learn on the VR5 so that if I need to do it on the VR6 I know a bit more about what I'm doing, and if I make mistakes then I'll learn from those mistakes. But yeah, this is going to be fun because I was not expecting this. Done half the bolts on the sump, but I've never known a sump to have so many bolts. They're going all the way around it, and I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just on one side, so that's like 7, another 7, 14, 8 on each end, so yeah, that's like 40 bolts in this sump, that's ridiculous. But I'm hoping once we take this down, we'll be able to see some metal in it and work out where's broken. If there's nothing in it, I'm going to be so confused. But yeah, I'm going to get the rest of the bolts off. So I put that bag on so no oil drips into the drive, but now I'm going to put it on the tripod and have a look what's in the sump. I can't even see anything in there, this is really annoying. I was expecting to take this off and find loads of bits in there, but if you look, there's nothing floating around. So that's really confusing. Something is clearly disintegrated, but they're such small pieces I wouldn't have a clue. They look like coppery. I don't have a clue, something's broken. I'm really scratching my head here because the only solution I've currently got is I've ordered a camera with, like on a cable camera, an endoscope. So that will tell me about the valves, I'll be able to put that in, but I have no idea, I've obviously destroyed something. The fuck?
What is that?
I think that's a compression leak. I think that's my problem. So what it is the hissing noise that we're hearing when we're cranking the engine, because we've got the spark plugs in the engine, it's gonna create the pressure that it has when it combusts. So that air leaking sound is the pressure is building up, and effectively one of my cylinders has got a puncture. So yeah, I think we found the problem, which is good because it sounds like it's piston rings. I wouldn't say that's good because that's like the hardest thing in the engine to like get to, but we're just gonna tackle it and
It's better than a bent valve because I think that's more intricate to take the springs off and all that stuff. But I'm sure at some point I'll break a valve, so we'll learn that then. But yeah, I think that's good news. I'm gonna hit the sump back on and start stripping the top of the engine off. Don't really know if this is gonna work, but I don't mind throwing myself in the deep end and learning along the way. What are you sniggering at?
Nothing.
You can do it?
I think you're very deep in the deep end right now.
Nah, you can get deep. You can get deeper in the deep end. You wait. You wait. There will be no engine in there to the point that like I'm going to.
And this car is never leaving my fucking drive. Clearly.
Well, it will. It'll either leave fixed or on a trailer.
Yeah. I think it might be the latter.
Well, my silver one will come in on the trailer and we'll just take the engine and go, vroom, just put it in there. That's what I probably should have done, but I'm just so determined to fix it. I just did all the bolts.
You did.
That's how many bolts I got to put back in. That's so depressing.
Do you know where they go?
Yeah. These two bolts down here, holding on this heat shield on the exhaust, are bloody tight. And they're in a very awkward place to get to. Oh, fucking hell, that was tight. This is just so I know how the throttle body goes back together. But this cable on the front of it comes round and goes into this coolant hose that comes from the back of the bulkhead, and then the other one goes into this like T-junction and isn't attached to the bulkhead. So I've just pulled this hose off and look at the state of that, and then inside there, this all needs a good clean. I can't imagine what the inside of the engine's going to be like. Yeah, I got to point out that I am way out of my depth. I probably should have done a compression test beforehand. I guess the time has come to just strip this engine down and try to rebuild it, clean it all up, see if we can make it better, because if not, the VR6 is going in this car. That's always so scary, but we've done it. That bolt was nasty. Definitely going to clean all these up before they go back in. That is a pretty cool manifold. I have never seen one like this before. I think what I'll also do is take all the soundproofing out and the heat protection so I can give all this a clean. I don't know if I'll leave it in, to be fair, because it'd be nicer to hear the engine from the cab. That's such a boy racer thing to do, and I know all the enthusiasts will be like, don't do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What I'm finding, the more I take out of the engine bay, the harder it is to get the camera in there, because before it was like resting on the battery, etc. But now I've not got the battery, or I've not got a lot of the components around here and here. I'm struggling to rest the camera. Oh, I'm going to find an exhaust gasket, and that's probably not going to be easy for this engine. If I can't find one, I'm going to have to make one, and that's sketchy. So the exhaust manifold is loose now. That will definitely split off the head when I need to, but at the moment it's keeping stability to the engine, so we're just going to leave it in situ. I will go get a haircut now, so I'm going to go get ready and stop the film in there, and we'll check back in when I'm working on the car next. I could only find my extremely long 5mm Allen key, so this is just what I'm using. It's working. This is mad confusing. There's like 0% chance I get this car back together correctly. But it's all fun and games. I'm hoping I can remove this with the head.
I keep forgetting to film outros, but I hope you enjoyed that video. We had a look at the timing, we got the exhaust manifold off and just started exposing around where the head would be. We didn't find what's actually wrong with the engine. I got a feeling it's going to be lower end because it did sound like we had a compression leak. But my plan is now to rip the front of the car off and take the engine out because I'm not messing around with it in the engine bay anymore. But you'll see me doing that in the next video. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, because I've stayed on the amount of subscribers for like a while now. I've posted a few videos, I've stayed on 178. Let's see if we can get it to 200, that would be nice. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you in the next one.